Okay. Hello and hello, everyone. And happy new year. Happy new 2026. But yeah, my name's Sugi Yamagawa, and today on VTubing My Slow Life Hobbies in My 30s, we're going to be working on we're going to be doing... We're going to build a forge. Ideally, we'll actually get to the point where we actually assemble the forge. And good morning to you, Dad's Old Shop. I hope you're having a great morning. Gotta say, mine's pretty alright. I was actually hoping to have more of my prep work done. I was hoping to have some holes in my steel here. But yesterday I basically ended up overbooked yesterday, but I did get my drill press set up. I've already done some drilling with it. One of the first things I did with it is I basically took like a scrap piece of 2x4 and put a hole in it, and then cut it in half with the bandsaw, and that's going to hold our all thread here. Ooh, drill press! Yeah, there's going to be a lot of drill pressing today because I don't have any holes in my metal, and I was hoping to have holes in metal, a couple of holes, but I'm also long overdue on getting a drill press in my shop, so I am very excited. Got your drill press clamps and all? Well, unfortunately, I don't have drill press clamps. I don't have all the nice things just yet. That's probably going to be future purchases? Question mark. I mean, granted, I am just habitually this type of human being who is like, no, next Harbor Freight trip for sure. Oh no. Don't say that, because funny enough, me and a buddy of mine are actually going tool shopping. Me and my bestie are going tool shopping later today. Did I have food bar? Nope. Yay. Good thing I did not food bar myself out of it. Now granted, one of these blocks I just have to use as like a stop, but that reasonably supports it. Did I moved my... Yep, I did move that, which meant I had one of my casters unlocked. Because one of my casters was unlocked, it was wiggly, and wiggly is bad. But yeah, I have already cut 3 pieces of my... These are 7/16 all thread. I need 6 pieces. I have 3 here. And I have a 3-foot piece right here that I've already put nuts on. They just help keep your hand safe when a workpiece bites and wants to spin. Yeah, I do wish to be very aware of the fact that if you put a spinny tool to a piece of material, I don't know how bad metal is about that though, because I'm new to metal, man. Like, shucks, I learned how to use an angle grinder. When was I doing all that angle grinding? I think that was like Friday. It was Friday afternoon after work. Was when I was doing all my angle grinding, getting all my pieces. Whoa. Hey, buddy. I'll keep you put. But yeah. So for this all thread, what I've done. So I don't have... There is a particular tool you can get, and it's basically, it has a round circle to it with 2 handlebars that you can use to clean up your all threads. Well, you can use up to clean up the threads on your all threads. It's worse. And what, because it scratches and cuts more? Yeah. Metal definitely seems like a lesser forgiving material versus wood. Wood seems very forgiving. Well, wood is reasonably fair. You mean tap and die set? Also, thanks for stopping by. I don't think it's a tap and die set for cleaning the all thread. There's a tap. Gosh, I am new to the ways of metal. I am wretchedly new. I'm mostly a wood shop person. But I'm pretty sure a tap and die set is for making threads, not cleaning threads. So what I've done here is I've already pre-put nuts on roughly where I'm going to be making my cut. I mean, it would work for that. Okay. I just know that you can have like one particular tool that you can just spin on to your all thread, and it can just clean up the threads. But also, Dee, welcome in. Unfortunately, there's gonna be real terrible noises. There's gonna be real terrible hacksaw noises here soon. But I put the nuts on before I make the cut, so that way I can back the nuts off each side of my cut, and that kind of helps clean up that cleans up the cut a little bit. It's not ideal, but it helps. It helps, trust me. And okay. Oh, one of my clamps got loose. That does not help me. Actually, do I need that? Come on. Let's get up here. I need that to be center. That's my issue. I wonder if I just don't have enough clamp there. I'm gonna fix that. I think you mean a chamfering tool you can chuck up in your drill. I don't use those, but they're very good. Kind of gimmicky. Just a fire or a lick with a grinder will clean up threads fine. Ah! Okay. I just figured using nuts will help clean up the threads a little bit. Hey, I'd like you to move a little bit more up than that, because we're gonna change our position here, because I need this. I need my all thread clamped, so it doesn't wiggle as much. Okay, so that's that. Now, can I configure this to be a stop block? Do I have enough clamp to be a stop block? Perhaps just enough. A dozen ways to skin a cat thing? Yeah. I'm not qualified to give advice on the thing, but it looks interesting, so I'm just here to hang out. Okay. Well, thanks for stopping by, guitar guy. Right now, I'm just trying to keep this all thread from moving while I cut it. Hey, buddy. You're spinning a little bit too close to my blade. I appreciate it. Yeah, nuts on the thread are fine. You'll still have a small burr after you run the nuts off, hence a few swipes with the file will take off the burr is generally a good idea. Ah! Ooh. Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, a bit of a burr there. But let's see. This just spins off nicely. That looks like it spins off nicely. Woo! Honestly, I'm just mostly concerned about can the nuts spin on and off? I know there's times where you can like really damage the threads, especially when you use the crude blunt instrument that is a hacksaw. So that also helps me test my threads, because like this one here, Because I did have one earlier where it didn't want to... Did not want to spin off, so... I'm going to just presume that thread needs a bit of filing. Which... There's a tool for that. Called a file. What did that do? Yep. The humble but mighty file. Absolute powerhouse in the shop. Because you can use files for a lot of things. Woo! Release! Spinning around time. And now this is even funner because you get kind of get a little bit less area. Files are great, yes. I am a fan of my files. Come on. There you go. Clamp up. And then, let's get a little bit of force. Woo! As long as the workpiece does not move, because that's the problem with the hacksaw. The big issue with hacksaw kun is it loves to move the material. It loves to move the material. Now that I got hacksaw kun kind of positioned a bit better. Yeah, there we go. So, we're gonna set that on the end, find our 1 foot. So, woo! But yeah, I am doing, also worn out ones are good to practice blacksmithing with. Funny enough, the blacksmithing book I was reading as like my primer for this art actually did not recommend file metal for blacksmithing, which I've heard so many times of people taking like old files and making like knives out of them. I heard that's been a real common thing, but apparently the guy in that book disagreed with that, which is fine because it's honestly good to get a whole bunch of... I'm always pro collect opinions. Collect opinions, see what seems reasonable, and go from there. Oh, wait, nope. I want to spin you away. I need to spin you away. Okay. And this is the fun part, getting started. And then once you get it started, it's not too bad to maintain. Especially once you get a curve to going with it. Alright, come on. So, my other piece is holding on by a thread. Oh, no. I thought I was hanging on by a thread. There it is. Woo. It's a practice thing. You can, but Philly steel is not the same as blade steel. Yeah. I think one of the things the guy in the book was talking about was mentioning, I don't know if it was the hard, no, it can be the hardness. Because the carbon content of steel is basically like the most important aspect of it, but our nut came off very easily. There's technically a bit of a burr. Because you kind of... The way the hacksaw cuts is it just... That last little bit of metal, it just bends. So. I'm just going to give that quick little file there. Grab my nut. But the game plan for today is to at least start putting the thing together, possibly. I've got to... There's a challenge material for today, and I'm a little bit worried about my challenge material. So we'll see how challenge material treats us. Because if it treats us poorly, then I'm going to have to probably take care of it off stream. But we'll see how it goes. Granted, today is just honest. I'm just going to be very real. Like, we're going to be doing... Because we've got to drill holes. We got to drill multiple holes. In metal. Which is new. Which is a new process to me. Let's do that. That looks good. Thank you, Filecoon. And once again, thank you, humble but mighty clamps. And scrap pieces. Really like scrap pieces. Also, one of the things I like about using pine. Got your respirator if it uses Corolin. Wait. Corolin. Wait a sec. No, that... Wait, is this... Wait, no, this is different. This is different. No, this is... No. Very similar, but no. I actually have a different lubricant prepared for the drill press. But I'm not... I don't see the drill press making that fine of noises. And I don't think I don't even have a... I don't even have a, I don't think I have a proper respirator. Because honestly, I would be more, I mean, I have, like, masks. Like, N95 masks you can get at, like, Lowe's, Home Depot, that type of deal. I have those. But I don't have more Corellan wool for the forge. Oh, that stuff. No. Actually, I don't have any of that. Yeah, I've heard about that. Ugh. Goodness gracious, this stuff is heavy. Oh, gosh. Now, we're going to be traditional for our forge liner. Good old fire brick. And not just... And this isn't... Now, some of it did get chipped in shipping because, well... I'm the type of dingus who buys fire brick from Amazon. But that's just because... Gosh, it was so hard. Like, comparing all the different places where you could buy fire brick, which actually I want to keep these scraps. There's no telling when you'll want high heat resistant materials for stuff. But we're going to be actually using these. We're going to be using these bricks, which one of my challenges for today is going to be I got to drill a 2-inch hole in one of these bad boys. Now, generally, fire brick seems pretty soft. Granted, this is a nice brick. But this stuff is actually... So, I wanted to get a really good, nice quality fire brick. And the fire brick I purchased for this build, this stuff is rated for 3,000 degrees Celsius. is what this fire brick is rated for. It does not seem as soft. It feels like a more traditional hard brick. So I don't know how easy this stuff is going to be to drill. That is one of my question marks for today. But yeah, actually, we'll let one hang out on the work table. The rest of you will store off to the side. And okay, so we did some drilling. I gotta fix myself a little bit key here. Because, yeah. Should be fine with the masonry bit. Yeah, I don't have a masonry bit for... I don't have a masonry hole saw, is my problem. I have wood, but I don't have dedicated masonry, unfortunately, so we're just going to use some wood stuff. And also, haggle! I will definitely be wearing a mask when we get to drilling brick. But for the metal, I'm not too worried about that. So drill press is over there. We're gonna back you guys out because we gotta spin this. If I remember to unlock a caster. Caster unlocked. Spinny. And there she blow. Which actually I think I need to adjust you guys up. Which, let's get you guys... Whoa. Let's get you... How about... There? Thereabouts? Seems reasonable. I'd say that's reasonable. Okay, but yeah. Behold, the drill press. It's brand new. And I'm about to do terrible things to it. We're about to do terrible, terrible things to it. Well, we're gonna really be testing it today. So, I need to grab my... Because we're gonna start with the flat bar. Flat bar seems pretty small, but it's also got some size to it, so I think it should be fairly easy to corral, if you will. So, my first hole is going in at 5/8. Also need to mark my center. Let's see. This is 1¼ inch stock. Oh man, that is not showing up. So, if gray Sharpie doesn't work, let's try my other marking material. Ah, yeah, chalk shows up a much better. And then we want to do that at 5/8. And I can be a little bit loosey-goosey with my holes because I know I'm drilling my holes a 1/16 bigger than what I'm anticipating. So my second is at 10¾ Need one of those blue markers. Maybe. Let's see what 10¾ 10¾ I don't want to just... Because I think you're referring to machinist blue, which is real nice if you're like... Those are nice if you're doing like actual machining. They're really nice if you're doing actual, like, machine work. I'm not at that level. I am most certainly not at that level. So, got myself a 1/2-inch bit. Let's see, tightens up. Clockwise. So there's that. Now, I love 4x4s. One of the big, actually, we'll just start over from this side. One of my favorite things about, one of the things I learned real nice is scrap 4x4s are immensely useful for a great number of things. Also, I need to get power to my drill press. It won't not work without electricity. So let's get some electricity going to it. Kind of route that cord into that notch. So I'm going to do that. There we go. And then with that, so let's get that. Get my magic mark. Because this, it's really nice. You guys can't see it, but it's actually got an X laser. I don't know. Do I want to raise this? You know what? I'm going to raise you guys. But I'm going to also change the angle of the camera. Possibly. Yeah. Because we're going to do that. And then, there we go. That's, oh man, that looks so much nicer. Yeah, there we go. With that, I wonder if I can just clamp my material? Question mark. Okay. Before I get that too tight, let's fine tune our hole. Sometimes I wonder if metric folk have an equivalent. I'm sure there's something that is just genuinely very useful in the metric world. I'm sure there is. Oh wait, I forgot to do a step. I missed a step. I forgot to do one of the more important things that makes your life easier when you're drilling holes in metal. I feel like I should wear gloves for this part, because I don't trust myself with the tool I'm about to use. I really don't trust myself with this tool. And that tool, you use a hammer and a punch. So what we're going to do here, we're going to figure out where we want our hole. Center a punch. Ooh. Well, just lost my drill bit, but I've got a little bit of a hole there. Well, a little bit of a divot. And that divot is very important because drill bits love to drift on metal when you're cutting holes. And also the divot also just provides like a real nice, like, oh, I need to aim my drill for that spot versus very crude marks I made. Granted, I gotta say, like, I feel like it's kind of nice that I have a keyless chuck in my drill press, but it doesn't feel like it holds super tight. It's just like I feel like it gets tight, and then I'm like, okay. And then it lets go. Which, okay. That feels better. Feels a lot better. So we'll get our piece of wood. That also just reduces the distance that our drill has to travel. And then we can actually now put a clamp on it. If I can get a clamp on it. I guess Dad's old shop was right. I have to invest in. Ooh, yeah. That's the problem, is when I tighten it, it shifts my material. Yeah, because it's bending it that way. But there's an easy fix for that. Do you think in China you could scooch over a few centimeters? There has to be something equivalent. There has to be an equivalent. I feel like that's way too. So. Oh wow, well, that is so. That is so well anchored that I tried moving it. Keyless chuck may be fine for wood, but in my experience, if you're drilling metal with drills above maybe 8mm, you need a key chuck to really gork down on it. Well, I'm very new to this, so we're gonna figure out how much I know. I'm also really new to drill pressing, so we're gonna see how this goes. And then I'm also gonna wear a glove, because I'm also gonna intend to hold my material. I'll keep one hand on my material, the other hand will be on the press thing. Now, I'm a VTuber, and a thing you must know about VTubers is that we are deeply cursed creatures, and we're also obligated to do very cursed things. So, in the spirit of lubrication, we're going to be using Kirkland brand extra virgin olive oil, which hopefully I can just get a nice little dip it, because on one hand I want to make jokes, but also on the other hand I think olive oil will actually kind of work. You think there'd be equivalent? You'd hear Canadians or Brits. Okay, so the problem is with Brits using it is Brits still use aspects of the imperial system. Like, you can go and get yourself a pint of beer. Britons are very fond. Ideally a high temp oil, yeah. But I'm also thinking, if I use olive oil, it will. If the olive oil starts to smoke, then that means my bit's going. That means the bit's too hot, and I need to take it easy with my drilling. But like I said, I'm new to this. I mean, I do have actual like motor oil, which if I wasn't doing this for like shits and giggles, I'd probably be using actual like an actual automotive oil for this. But we're having fun today. It's a fun Sunday morning, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn the magic machine on, and then I am. Let's see, our RPMs are really low, and we'll just work with what we got. So right now I've got this running on 437 RPMs. So I'm gonna put hand here, and we'll just slowly bring it down. See what we do. Looks like it's cutting, doing what it needs to do. Nothing scary. A little bit of burning metal smell. So I'm going to back off. Let's see. Because I need to go with a different grab. Oh, yeah. Nice long shaving there. Nice. Okay. Reasonable. Reasonable. And a little smoky towards the end. There we go. Woo! Nice. Got some real nice. You actually did pretty good with some of the shavings. Got some real nice shavings. So. Actually, wait a second. That clamp can stay loosely there. I think it'll work, but it'll polymerize and permanently stick to the metal like a cast iron coating. Yeah. I suppose that's probably like the big issue. I'm gonna take this off. Get the trash can. Glove. Well, glove. But oh my goodness gracious, would you look at that? That is a beautiful 1/2-inch hole in metal. I gotta say, like, that worked. That worked, and it looked like it worked well. So, now that we've done our dumb, stupid joke for the day, I wish to treat this drill bit with a little bit of respect because, well, we're going to be using a lot. So, we're going to be using a whole lot. So, I've got a, I actually keep just a little bit of, automotive oil in a little glass jar like this, just laying around. Typically, what I'll use this for is, usually I'm using this stuff for like if I want to do some like handsaw work for like a while, or if I'm using like one of my larger wood saws, I'll just like dab some oil on my finger. I'll just like run it over the blade just to give the blade a nice light coating of oil. And that really helps the saw travel through the wood. So for today, we're just going to be using that for the rest, because we did the meme. Now we do. I'm okay with doing this stupid joke, but I don't want to ruin my drill bits, man. I'm planning to buy tools today, not bits. Okay. I'm going to get that reasonably close, start getting it reasonably tight. Oop. And that's the thing. Okay, well, I guess I know what I'm buying today. I know one of the tools I wish to purchase today, and that is a tool to clamp pieces of metal in here, because clamping pieces of metal is going to be very important to me. Well, did you see that vid where the guy made fries with Oh, yeah! Ool's Lab. I love that guy. He's a cool guy. He's cursed, but he's cursed because he lives in Ohio. I mean, making fries with automotive oil is definitely firmly in, you can do that. That's allowed. I don't like the idea. Well, I don't think it will taste good. Because, I mean, basically, because it's an oil, but it's not really like an edible oil. I wish I knew, but I think William Osmond did it first, probably. And also, hello, Vicky the Rat. I hope you're having a good morning. I gotta say, I'm really enjoying my new drill press. My drill press makes me very happy. So, let's go ahead and, yeah, it's not good for you. Yeah. I don't think your body can metabolize it well. But yeah, let's go ahead, get some spinny going. Hold that. Holy smokes! Same's true for trans fats. Oh wait, did I go all the... Oh, I don't think I went all the way through. Nope, I didn't go all the way through. I got too optimistic. I need to find... Oh yeah, I'm picking that up here in a bit. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go all the way through. Because we punched through a little bit, but we didn't punch through the full... There it is. Now we got wood shavings. It does not look like I punched all the way through. It does not look like I punched all the way through. But with that amount of wood shavings, I should have succeeded. What do we got? Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, we punched through. We're good. We're good. We're good. I'm curious. Curious, because I got a metal thing in here that was confusing me. And that's the metal thing that was confusing me. Is I ended up with this ring, almost washer of metal that was just sitting in my hole, which made me think that I still had like metal to cut through, but I actually cut through my metal. That's cool. That's really cool. Oh god, there's a hole in your glove. Oh, that one? Ah, that's no big deal. We don't worry about that. The glove's still very useful. Also, I want to find that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is so pretty. Is it hot? No, it's not hot. But look at it. Look at that spiral power. Look at it. It's a cute little guy. Oh my goodness gracious. That is wonderful. That is that is beautiful. Man, this drill press is amazing. I love this drill press. Did you know rapeseed oil was originally used for machines? I think I knew that. Ooh, wait. So, I've got a few burrs inside my hole. And I think the tapered tang of my file, be good for breaking them. Rank on crack. Oh, thank you for stopping by. But yeah, we're just drilling holes in metal. We're gonna be doing... I thought rapeseed oil was like cottonseed oil. Rapeseed oil is like its own separate thing. Actually, I didn't think we'll be talking about oil chemistries today, but there was a period of time in like the 60s and I think a little bit into the 70s where transmissions in automobiles were terribly unreliable, like very poorly, like very unreliable things. The reason for that is they stopped using whale oil for transmissions. The first transmissions were lubricated with whale oil. And apparently whale oil is really good for transmissions. So, I've got 2 of these pieces of flat bar. And since I have 2 pieces of flat bar, I'm going to use the piece I just drilled as a reference piece. It's really hard to get my chalk in there. Let's see. Do I get something that's reasonably... similar to a mark? Something reasonably similar to a mark. Cool. Yeah. I think this is 1/8 material. Yeah, this is like 1/8 steel, so... I gotta say, so far, drilling steel has been fun stuff. So, we're gonna continue to make our lives easier for our drill coon, and that is gonna involve grabbing the punch. So, this is our punch. We're gonna land a punch center-ish of hole. Give a good tap. And then with that tap, we have a small little divot that a drill bit can bite on. Now it does look like my holes are not perfectly centered in my workpiece, but that's fine-ish. Whoop! Don't fall down. But both sides are now divoted. So, hammer can go there. That can go there. Now we can set up for the next drill. The next hole. We'll just roughly center that. Bring our clamp around onto the back side. My setup right now is very jank, but one of the things I'll be doing today is to de-jank the setup. Because I don't like the idea of having a little bit of jank in the setup is fine, but a lot of jank is not so fun. Okay, that looks pretty good. One time I hammered too hard in metal shop and the whole class got quiet. Oh man, I can see that. Oh man. Oh gosh. I got a fun story that's kind of something like that. In college, I took a botany course, and for one of our labs, we carved pumpkins. And when I prepped my pumpkin, I made it kind of on the thinner side. Are you outside? No, I'm in a shop. I'm in the garage. I'm not outside today. But sometimes I'm outside. But because I the way I hauled out this pumpkin made it when I was carving my shape, which I was putting like a spider shape on it. It sounded like I was drumming the pumpkin, and it didn't sound exactly like, but it sounded really, really close to the Jumanji drums. Which was funny because I was just sitting here carving my pumpkin, and all of a sudden the class gets quiet because they're just like, wait, that sounds like Jumanji drums. What's going on? And it was just the sound of me carving the pumpkin. Because of just like how the sound was like reverbing in the pumpkin. It was funny. I have yet to replicate that experience. So, we've got a divot. We got it lined up. Workpiece is secured. Let's turn the drill on. Bada bang, bada boom. One more hole in metal. I'm starting to wonder if I should put oil on the drill bit itself. Because that drill bit looks like it's getting pretty warm. And I'm just going to put a few splashes on that. And then that oil's going to drip down. That off to the garbage can. Brush it up. There we go. One hole in metal. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, that metal is toasty. It's a little bit toasty. Might wanna be a little bit more. I think I should probably be a little bit more generous with the level of oil I'm using. Because I don't think the drill bit smoking is a good sign. I'm probably abusing the hell out of this drill bit. Hey now, don't go down just yet. There we go. I need to get you centered close. Then we can clamp you down. Let's get you nice Wow. Ooh, wow, you sprung. You sprung. Don't do that. Please don't. Granted, I gotta say, holding the end of... Any beer this morning? I'm not a morning beer guy. Oh! I get tempted sometimes, though. Granted, so... One of the things that kind of... put me... So, I literally finished assembling my drill press this morning. And one of the reasons for that is I wanted to make beer yesterday, which I did. I made my Vienna lager. I make a Vienna lager every year around this time of year because, well, the basement has really nice air temperatures for lagering beer. So I did that yesterday. But I also volunteered, and then I got caught at the local restaurant by the guy who does like a lot of the organization for a lot of the volunteer efforts. So he absolutely talked my ear off when I was there. So I ended up staying there a little bit longer than I anticipated. I actually didn't start making beer yesterday until about 4 p.m. because the project day started at 10, ran for 3 hours, and then lunch, and then getting my ear brambled off, and then having to actually get the beer ingredients. But right now, I did pick up a local Hefeweizen and a local Pale Ale that I enjoyed while I was working on my beer. I'm just gonna maybe... Man, that... Because the end of this medal is... No, not the homebrew store. Oh man. I feel for you, Haggle. I truly do. Like, with the current, let's just say, changing consumer preferences, that is the thing that scares me the absolute most, is the thought of me losing my homebrew store. That scares me immensely. But my homebrew store has been doing all right. At least as far as like business, so they say. And I think unfortunately, another part of that is they do. But it was open what? 108 years? Holy smokes! Is that like? That survived Prohibition. We lost history. What is a homebrew store? Like a mom and pop's? So a homebrew store is basically a store where you can buy homebrewing equipment. Well, you can buy equipment, ingredients. It is the resource. Because if I lose my local homebrew store, because the thing is, typically, you have to have granted it's looking like nowadays, you have to have a fairly large metropolitan population to support enough homebrewers to then support a dedicated store for homebrewing ingredients, because like a homebrew store is like a very specialty style shop. Now I know at one point in time, especially fresh grains, they'll even let you grind it there. Yeah, that's the thing I love about my homebrew shop, is like they have. It was actually funny. They actually did their grain mill died last year, and they did a video celebrating the life of their grain mill. Hey, moonshine suppliers. I mean, technically that's illegal. Because the thing in America is, if you brew something, which brewing is, you basically like make either, in the case of beer, a wort that you add yeast to, or in the case of winemaking, a must, and then you add the yeast to it. It's when you add the yeast is when that product officially becomes a alcoholic beverage per U.S. regulations. The issue is to make moonshine or like a whiskey, a bourbon, any of those more like high proof beverages, you then have to go through a process called distilling, where you heat up your mash, and in the case of those beverages, you make a mash that has alcohol in it, and then you distill the alcohol out of it to concentrate it even further. Because yeast really do not like, well, most beer yeast don't like going above 10% ABV, alcohol by volume. And then wine yeast can like tolerate slightly higher proof, get up to like 15. I'm not super well versed in the wine world, so don't quote me on anything there. But yeah, you can't be like making your own like that style of hooch. You can brew your hooch though, so that gives you beer, wine, cider, and mead. You get those 4 things, and a homebrew store supplies the supplies you need to do that stuff. So it's a very specialty shop, and man, it is a sad day to lose that shop, because your options for getting ingredients get very reduced, because then you got to start relying on more like online suppliers. There's homebrew clubs, which are basically like collections of homebrewers, and usually what homebrew clubs do is they'll do bulk grain buys, because for me to buy grains to make beer, I pay $2 a pound. But you can get grain for as cheap as $1 a pound if you do a bulk buy. So a lot of areas will have like homebrew clubs where the club will buy a whole bunch of different grains. Generally speaking, it's going to be stuff like two-row and other, probably like two-row, Vienna malt. It's going to be like Pilsner malt. Pilsner malt would be a big like bulk buy. And then they'll split it up amongst the members of the club. And that way the club members pay a much lower price for the grains. But yeah, like the availability of ingredients and such goes way, way down without a homebrew store. Homebrew stores has all the good stuff. And I gotta say, like, I am tremendously flabbergasted at the quality of my homebrew shop. And I think that's enough yammering about homebrew. Let's put holes in metal. And I think I might want to take this one a little bit easier. Mostly because I want to see if I go slower, if I don't get smoke. Let's see. Maybe in chips. Still got smoke. They also refill and service your CO tank. Ooh, yours services and refill CO tanks? Mine doesn't. That is the one thing my homebrew shop does not do, is they don't refill CO tanks. Ooh, we got some. Look at that! That's a funny look. Wait, is this? Might be hot. No, it's not hot. Man, getting real funny looking pieces of metal. And the rest of this goes to the trash can. Oh, wow. That hole's very off-center. Oh, wait. What am I... Oh. Metal shavings. I'm going to now have... You've invented the spring. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about inventing springs, man. I'm a wood guy, man. Granted, part of the reason for getting a metal art going is I can use metal to... I can make my own tools, which is what I want to do eventually, but... This is going to be exciting. Wait, is it going to be exciting? It's going to be exciting. Okay, well... Well, my holes do line up. If I'm willing to have my bars off by probably a little bit more than a 1/4 inch, so... It works! It's gonna work! Hopefully. Well, it actually should, because the distance between the holes is equal. So it should work. But I'm gonna take this off right now. Because I wanna get all these metal shavings away. Get everything nice and cleaned up. Okay, so now that's the bar that gets holes. Now let's go over to and get a look at my cut list, because I need hole. Okay, no holes, holes, cool. So my 2 pieces of angle iron, which I have. Let's see. Is that the new drill press? Yes! Captain Cocoa Puffs. It's the new drill press. It is the new drill press, new to me. It is the Grizzly Industrial Model T31735. It is a variable speed drill press. It has very much impressed me with its ability to put holes in metal. I can now put holes in metal, because I'm sure this would have been a lot more difficult with a corded drill. I could probably do it with a corded drill, but the drill press just makes life easier. And I'm also really looking forward to seeing how this makes my life easier in the wood shop. Really looking forward to it, though. The further potential this will save drill bit tips too. Yeah. Wait, where did I... Oh, there's my tape measure. Okay, so for the angle iron, I want holes at 1 inch, 13, and 23. 1 inch. 13 inch. Actually, can I get that? Yeah, let's get that a little bit closer. 1, 13, and 23. Okay. So pretty equidistant. And then honestly, I could just put, yeah. Yeah, that'll work, that'll work, that'll work. Cool. So, I've got... Ooh. That's not how I want it. No, no. Well, fiddlesticks. That's not how I meant the it's not how I wanted the market. That's how I wanted the market. Now, for the angle irons, I do have to be particular about which side of these I mark. Because what's going to happen is one of these is going to get marked on essentially one side of the angle iron, and then the other angle iron gets holes on the other side. So for this one, I'm going to put holes on this face, and then for the second piece, it's going to get holes this face. So you'll have, so this will get holes on this one, and then this gets holes on that one. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, problem is right now, I don't have enough room here to I don't have enough room to do my hole punching. Well, to get my little divots going. So I'm gonna take this feller away, and we're going over to the workbench. It's like, hello, workbench. I haven't really abused you much today. I hope you wouldn't mind too much if I change that. Woo! That was ear-ringingly loud. Now I'm trying to also not spill my tea. Don't want to spill tea. Tea is valuable. So we'll just ball line that up. Because the divots are gonna ultimately decide where the actual hole goes. So Jeepers creepers. I'm not sure if it should be like, I hope this feels as aggressively loud to you as it does to me. Because that sounds like unnecessarily aggressively loud. Which I'm sure it probably is. So, in the case of what I've got going on here, my angle iron, especially when I'm drilling the center holes. Actually, wait a second. There's a tool. There's a tool here. Oh yeah. Loosen those. Yes. Now we're. Oh wait, do I have a? Are you center drilling first or full sending? I'm full sending. These are 1/2-inch holes. I need a longer one of these guys. Do I have a longer one of you guys? Yeah, I have a longer one. Let's grab the longer one. There we go. Oh man, this is gonna be better. It's gonna be better. That gives me so much that support surface. That is a lot more support surface. Yeah, because now I can bring my angle iron up onto that, and it doesn't want to just automatically flop into the void. I think it has a tendency where it wants to, but it's not going to automatically do it. Now, granted, one of the nicer things with bigger, heavier materials is it doesn't want to. It's not as inclined to want to just straight like do something stupid on me. Well, it's just when your workpiece is heavier, it more resists the drilling torque of the drill. Since it's so long, you can brace it against the column of the press. God, I like that idea. I like that idea, but I don't know how I can support my my 4x4. Oh my gosh, I have to have thoughts now. Because I mean, I've got a good little bit of support out here. If my outfit just rotate it. Let's see. This might hurt my brain. So, that's what I have to do. I mean, turn everything 45 degrees and extend it out towards your bed. I feel like I'm at a 45-degree angle now. Because, I mean, this will reduce the... You're Gucci. Okay. Because I was like, this looks like roughly a 40... Now, I feel like if I were to actually measure it, would it be a 45-degree angle? Clamp the wood to the table and use a smaller clamp to clamp the angle iron to the block. I why? Oh no. Oh no, chat's smarter than me. I'm actually okay with chat being smarter than me, though. So, granted, I also have an additional thought that involves this piece of wood, especially for this angle iron. And I'm going to talk about that thought once we get to that. Once I get this piece of wood exactly where I want it. Because this has got to get exactly where I want it. And then I can talk about the thought I'm having. Because I really like the thought I'm having. Ooh. Okay. You wiggled a little bit. That's fine. I'm okay with that. So we'll get this block. We'll get the piece of wood. As long as it's against the left side of the column, you're fine. Yeah. Because that's how the workpiece is going to want it. If the workpiece catches, if the bit catches the workpiece, that's going to be how it wants to turn the workpiece. But my idea, well, and not necessarily just like my idea, just a thought that I feel like is a pretty good galaxy brain play, is by having my angle, if with this piece of wood fixed, might not be a bad. Yeah, I'm going to get to that. I just want to quickly explain my block of wood thought. The block of wood thought is because the wood is supported up against the column of the press, and it's supported at this clamp. So my wood is supported in two spots, which actually I need to check a thing. Yes, that'll work. Awesome. Oh, that's going to make it real easy. Okay, so using the angle iron against the piece of wood, the wood is fixed. If I drill a hole here, I can increment it further down to here, to my next mark, drill a hole, and then all my holes are the same depth in the thing. So that just further idiot-proofs my hole drilling. But yeah, that was just the thought I wanted to explain real quickly. And then we're going to just, we'll just set it out here. We'll just set it right on the other side of the thing. And there we go. We are clamped. The best jigs are the most simple ones. Yes. Oh man, like simple jigs are very nice. Actually, Captain Cocoa Puffs. First thing I did with my drill press is I used it to put a hole in just like a scrap piece of 2x4 block that I could then put my round hole over my all thread and then clamp the block down, and then that holds my all thread. So the very first thing I used this drill for was to make a jig, because that's really how, like, that's one of the things that separates like really amateur DIY woodworking from like higher levels of woodworking. I think is like when you get into the higher levels, and especially when you want to make like repeat stuff, like repeat cuts. How far is the back of the drill press sitting on the table saw? Looks a little sketchy. Let's see here. I've got a measuring device. So 4 inches of the drill press are supported on the table saw. The thing is I'm not worried about that very much, because yeah, this drill press ain't going anywhere. This drill press, more like the ears on the left and right side. Oh. I mean, the thing is it's also supported here. But yeah, this drill press is, I think this thing is like 95 pounds. It is an exceedingly heavy drill press. So I'm not too worried about the weight on the table saw. I mean, there's enough support, and I mean, with the amount of drilling I've been doing so far, it hasn't acted up in any way that makes me think it's like unsupported. It hasn't tried to lean on me, and then if I try to, there's a little bit of rocking in it if I try to push it side to side. Holy smokes! I don't even, with this set. Yeah, there's no need to have a hand on my workpiece. Okay, cool. Well, no hand on workpiece. Let's drill. I feel like I really need to oil that. Let's come up, dab a bit of oil. Just make sure I punch through. Do you have an old paintbrush you can dip the oil and use it? Oh, man. We're getting good ideas today. We're getting really good ideas today. Holy smokes. That is... Do I have something readily laying around, though? Don't do that, Sugi. The don't do that Sugi thought was thinking about using a rag, and it's like, don't do that because the rag's gonna get caught in the... If you're gonna be cutting metal regularly in the future, I would recommend getting a swivel bench vise. Permanently affix it to a bench hook that you can then clamp in the face vise on your other bench. Ooh. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I don't plan on... Like, this drill press is going to be more for lumbers. Wood. I'm mostly doing stuff today because I really want to try making some of my own woodworking tools with metal. Also, oh no, not filing stuff. I like filing stuff. I do that. I like filing stuff. There we go. Let's get our other clamp here. Ooh. Might have to... Oh, no. Will I have to do that? I might have to do that. That's a Jiminy Cricket right there. Okay. Okay. I'm actually... Let me go dig through my old paintbrushes, because that did actually smoke a fair bit. And we don't want the smoking too much. That's bad. Well, it's just hard on the drill bit. Hello, box. Oh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Even better, even better, even better. Ooh. Hot dog. Yeah. There we go. Okay. I think we're going to be cooking now with this guy. Smaller the better. Yes. Yeah. Also, since this is dry, I also want to just clean some of that metal off there. Okay. But yeah, thank you, Captain Cocoa Puff, for that. I mean, I'm still going to put like a little bit of oil on the... That's the exact size in my shop. Well, I just dug through my old brushes, and this is what I had. So, I'll just let that sit a little bit in that oil down there. And I'll let it soak up. Okay. So we got a little dab there. And we're going to try this brush technique. So let's get this started. And I'm going to watch my oil. Okay. I need to... Doesn't need to soak at all. You're just trying to coat the bits cutting edges. Yeah. Granted, honestly. I think the level of smoke is happening because I'm dulling this bit. And then we'll just kind of clean you up. Off! Nah, it's the oil burning. I wouldn't try to use the brush while you're drilling. I'd rather that hand be free to brace the drill press from wobbling about. Oh man, we're getting all sorts of... I mean, I'm not really worried about the drill press wobbling just because of the level of... I mean, the absolute sheer amount of weight on this guy. Yeah, there we go. Oh my gosh. Also, I really... Also, these holes are... These holes are looking... I mean, look at these holes. They're looking good. Almost like machine shop, even though this isn't a machine shop. And hello, Mr. Spock. Welcome in, welcome in. Okay, so I am now in a bit of a peculiar situation. And that is, I want to drill that hole. Bad. Bad. That's a lot of wobble, to be honest. Okay, well, we now have two people who think I have a lot of wobble, so I'm going to call that fair. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of wood here, and now I'm going to bring it out this way towards me. So that way I have more supporting surface this way. So, but I want to make sure I'm continuing to keep everything as reasonably centered as I had it done so previously. So in the interest of that, let's get you. You're backing out. Let's get you a little bit on there then. You're just not. Jeepers creepers, you're just not wanting to hold. Let's see what we can do. What can we do? Because I don't want it to be too close. Ooh, that's better, that's better, that's better. Okay, we got that. So, I'm going to just take that down. And then that confirms that my drill, everything is still referencing how I anticipated it to reference. So I can bring down my angle iron here. Oh, my divot is really off from where I want that hole. Do I want to make a new divot? Honestly, I don't think I need to worry about it too much. Yeah, don't do that. We don't want that. So. Oh, wait. Need to do this number. Which isn't something I particularly like. Wait a second. Something that has a reasonable bit of weight. Come here, you. You're a reasonable bit of weight. Whoa! Oh, Seabiscuit. Thanks for subscribing. Man, my drill press doesn't have a pull out and feed support. This is some fancy stuff. So I am very much. I have been delaying this purchase for a long time for my shop. I have very much been delaying this purchase for a long time for my shop. And a big reason, one of the reasons why I've been delaying this purchase is because I've been wanting to get something that's on the nicer end of the spectrum. And unfortunately, in the process of tightening this clamp, my line a little bit closer, a little bit closer. That is like perfect. Oh, hot dog, that is perfect. Right, they make them good now. Okay. Okay. For those who have older styles of drill press, I'm gonna go hurt your feelings, okay? So just warning you, we're gonna be doing some feeling hurting. So that's funny. It's displaying like that, but so that's 442. Let me grab my lever. Cancel this, man. We're 600 revolutions, 700 revolutions, 800 revolutions, 900, 1,000. Continuing to accelerate. Oh man, we're past 2,000. 2,500, and I think this tops out. Oh, 2,800. We're over 20 out. But those speeds are not needed for metal. Metal gets slow speeds. But yeah, when I was doing the startup on this, it said, wait, there's no step pulley. No, this is, so the motor's a variable speed motor. For a second, I was gonna say, no, we're not. It is a variable speed motor. Yeah, we'll do that. So I have full free control of speeds on the low end, 400 revolutions up to 2,800, and it's a variable speed motor. And these are also known as variable drive motors. These are actually used in a lot of HVAC systems, which is where I'm traditionally experienced with them. But basically, what it is it's a three-phase motor that has what's called a compilation module, that takes the single-phase power that's being provided by this cord, and it can actually convert it into artificial three-phase. And because it's converting the power, it can just automatically adjust the speed. It's really cool technology. But yeah, there's no step pulleys here, so it is This is wretchedly fancy stuff, which, honestly, and for those who are wondering about this, like, this is under $500 of drill press. Now, granted, Grizzly does make you pay for shipping, which shipping and taxes pushed me well over 500, but the actual cost of the tool was like sub 500. Does it not have any pulleys at all then? It's just straight 1-to-1? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is that way. Wait, here. Let's see. Which I'm actually, let's turn that off. We're gonna use the magic stop button, the safety button, because, Oh, okay. So, since you're wondering, we'll take a look. Oh yeah, it's a 1-to-1 pulley. It's just the motor is variable speed. And some step pulleys would be an ideal setup. Maybe. I will say this motor is still just a 3rd horsepower. So compared to some of the stuff I was looking at and potentially considering, it's a little bit on the underpowered side. And we'll spring out that. Woo! That gets all that back. Okay. But yeah. That's it. Has anything significantly changed in my workpiece since then? There we go. Then we'll also do ourselves the little bit of favor of having that there. But yeah, I mean, with the amount of metal cutting I've been doing, and I'm pretty sure metal cutting is this amount of metal cutting is the most metal cutting I'm probably going to be doing, as far as like how thick and all that stuff. To be fair, mine is permanently set up at the lowest speed and never gets changed for anything. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you have step pulleys, though, is you're gonna just set it and leave it. Like, even if you have the ability to change it, you're not gonna want to change it very often. Which, for me, technically we're using this out of how my original vision for this tool, and that's drilling holes in metal. There's a reason step pulleys are having been phased out. I mean, they work, okay? They do work. Granted, I can only imagine the pains that you would have to go through if one of those belts snapped. Oof. That's a negative thought. Let's not think about those negative thoughts. But I mean, yeah, this is kind of, I guess this is kind of the newer way. I'm not super big into I'm not super big into researching tools unless I am specifically shopping for things for my shop, and then in that case I do big deep dives into things, and it's like, okay, try to envision what I want to do, what I want to like work with, and then buy the tool that best matches what I want to do, plus also budget. And I gotta say, so far, this has been a good purchase. Very happy with it. Now let's get another hole, because we still got more holes to drill. Now I'm a little bit off on my divot on this one, so let's see how it does without having a divot. Okay. Ooh, a lot of smoke there. Let's go ahead. Get a little bit of lubrication. Woo! Take that. Grab a glove, and brush the metal shavings into your trash can. Because, I don't want metal shavings all over my shop floor. Damn it, this is supposed to be a wood shop. I'm not trying to be a metal shop guy here. Oh my goodness gracious, but I do like those holes. I like those placement too. Like, just being able to reference the... It's too bad. Just inside and biting like, oh gosh. Oh gosh, Captain Cocoa Puffs. I can feel that. How dare you make me feel that pain? Granted, I guess that's what I suppose that's what I deserve for that earlier flex. Granted, actually, funny thing about talking about tracking stuff inside, where I had my bird feeder for a while, nobody deserves it. Yeah, it's like metal splinters. Like, nobody deserves a metal splinter. But yeah, my bird feeder, I had it positioned in a good spot where squirrels could not get to it. All those DeWalt pilot point drill bits, on camera the bit looks like it has a protrusion at the point. Yes. Yes. You are very much correct, GD. These are the DeWalt pilot point tips, which I'm going to be doing some evaluation of this drill bit, and if this drill bit seems foobarred by the end of today, then, well, I'm going to Lowe's later today, so no big deal. Simple replacement. It's worth it for actually being able to drill holes in this metal. But my bird feeder, I had it positioned where squirrels couldn't get to it, but it was in the center of my driveway. And I was starting to track a lot of like sunflower holes into my basement, and I'm like, man, I'm giving myself a mess to clean up. I don't like that. I don't want to have a mess to clean up. So I moved it to another position to where it doesn't. I don't think the squirrels have been getting into it. I've seen squirrels around it, and the squirrels have mostly been hanging out on the underside, underneath it, after the birds like kick seed out. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with birds doing that. Okay. Now, there should be another piece of angle iron, which I just found. Okay. So, thing is, those holes cannot go on this surface. These holes have to go on this other surface. So, what I'm going to do here... Wait. Nope, not like that. Not like that, Sugi. Do I want to match them like that? Or basically turn this into like a pseudo U channel and let's see here. Because I love referencing my pieces off each other if I can do this right, but clamp the back faces together. Man, you're reading my mind, man. You're reading my mind. Granted, this is just... Man, clamps are just so useful. Such incredibly useful creatures. And if you go to the Harbor Freights, you can get clamps for very cheap. So, what I'm thinking... Honestly, what I'm thinking about is... Here a bit more. Okay. We're just going to set that there for now while I tighten. And then... Actually, I need to... There we go. There we go. Ooh, a little bit too tight? Because this doesn't need a lot of force. I just need to hold these pieces together. Yeah. Pro tip: don't become a project VTuber. Way too much work. Okay. So I got a little bit of deflection. But deflection's fixable. I can also just fix that with a hand. Sure. Let's see. Problem is with my chalk, it doesn't really get into the hole. I wish I had been. I need to figure out better ways to mark metal is what I need. That's the needs. That's an ultra need to happen. Is my. And that is the greatest need in my life. Woo! Hung in there just long enough for it to do what I wanted. And after picking F, I wouldn't clamp them like that. Your inner radius is probably going to throw your hole location off. If you clamp them back to back, you can transfer the holes to the same location. I don't know, I'm just... That's... a very... Honestly, I'm very impressed with that ability to use chat. That is... Or just the ability to use text like that. Also, let's make my life easier and get this out of the way. There we go. Oh, you know what? Even better. Do it better. Do it better, you dingus. Dang dingus. Which, really for marking one clamp, it should be sufficient. I'm going to be like ultra generous with this. That's, well, I want to have reasonably accurate holes. Now, I think I can have a little bit of inaccuracy with my holes. Now, granted, judging by the way this stream has went, we will not have a forge by the end of today. Because unfortunately, I still got to drill. Because after this, I got to drill the diamond plate, and the diamond plate might happen off. Are these holes for bolts? These are holes for these threaded rod, these sections of threaded rod that we've cut earlier. So what's essentially going to happen is we're going to have, I gather you're going to use them to tie them. Yeah. You can afford to oversize the holes a bit. Yes. It's not precision. Yes. Because I'm drilling 1/2-inch holes and I'm using 7/8 all thread. So I have 1/16 of a wiggles rooms. Also, I'm out of tea. So let's get that pot going. So. And there will... And I suppose just getting the holes really... Wow, actually... I know which hole's true because I actually threw chalk in this one. And I covered it up, so that helped, but... Jeepers creepers, I need to find a better way to mark metal. I think... Because chalk isn't working too well. And I think you can get a, it looks like chalk, but it's actually like a It's like a wax, and you can use that to mark metal. I think that's going to be the better solution moving forward, but that's a thing for me to keep an eye out. I use silver Sharpie or paint markers. Well, funny enough, I'm actually using the silver Sharpie right now. And I mean, yeah, you can kind of see where my hole marks are, but it's just not super great. Okay. That's too many shavings. Do the trash can. There we go. Ouch. Hole punch. Hammer. And I don't want to do anything wretchedly embarrassing. So I need to make sure my piece is fully under my table. Because my piece is... Because if this isn't fully supported and I do hammer down, I might seesaw this into my face. And I don't want to seesaw it into my face. I mean, seesawing into my face is fine. Also, Looney... Yeah, I saw the Looney Tune happening. And it's like, nope, we're not Looney Tuning this morning. Saying from experience, you only do it once. Oh no. Looney Tune by letting go. But that should be close enough, Dibbits. Whew. And since this is our last piece, I am done with punch. Now, I did notice a thing when I was doing that, and that's I pushed my little lever there. So I'm going to just retighten that, set that back where it was. Now, interestingly enough, since we are doing these on a separate... Oh, actually, wait a second. Wait a second. Am I getting paranoid? Am I getting paranoid? Why am I getting paranoid? That's why I'm getting paranoid. That's why I'm getting paranoid. Wait. Because those are on the same side. But if I flip it this way... My brain hurts. My brain hurts. Why does my brain hurt? Because the forge is going to get set up like this. It's going to set up like... Well, actually, you can't see it. But essentially how these angle irons are going to come, they're going to be like this. Which... It's okay for me to have holes like that. It's very okay for me to have holes like that. But I'm getting paranoid. Why do I get paranoid? I just get paranoid. Nailed it. The pieces are a dent. Just drill it the same way you did the others. Yeah, but that's just because you flipped end for end. Yeah. I know, I'm just... Jeepers creepers, I get paranoid. I mean, granted, I've made mistakes. I have made some wretched mistakes in my time as just a guy having fun in a shop. Honestly, at the end of the day, that's all I am now. You stay off. I need to anchor you. Hey, better measure and check twice or 10 times and cut once? Yes. Yes. It is always better to... over-examine yourself. Now I moved my block of wood, and I am like off by an exceedingly small amount. Sure. Let's see if we can loosen, because I need to. Ooh, was that too much? Bring it up. Ooh. Really close to the money. There we go. Holy smokes. Ooh, wait. Because I gotta have that piece of wood on my column. Tappy tap tap. Yeah. Yep. I did not. Oh, do I need to move my... Yeah, that's how I need to do it. Not perfect. Need a few more taps. Alrighty, I'm gonna look for a bit and get some work done. I'll catch you guys after a bit, hopefully. Okay, well, enjoy the lurk. Honestly, I don't know how much further we got. How much further I want to go today. Because we're gonna get this angle iron drilled, and then... I'm not sure if I want to do the plate. On one hand, I'm tempted to do the diamond plate, but I don't know. Okay. There we go. Cool. So, got that. Let's grab our piece of metal. Put you where we want you. Yep. Okay. Actually starting to run low on oil, though. Really starting to run low on oil. Running low on oil, man. Okay. Let's get a hole done. Do a little bit of oil afterwards. Show that bit some TLC. I mean, granted, this bit seems like it's been holding up pretty well, so. Okay. Let's get these shavings in the trash can. So. Man, there's metal shavings everywhere. How do these metal people do this all the time, man? I don't know how they do it. Metal people are just strange people. Random. That's one of the themes of this year is me becoming more metally. Not sure how I feel about that. Okay. Go. Get that tightened up. We are all good there. Actually, how's my tea coming along? Is my tea good? Or is it hot? It seems hot. My mug's warm. Unnecessarily warm. Let's fix that. Let's get a little bit of that wonderful agua in there. Okay. Okay, there we go. Just as, well, tea lubricates the mind and body of a human being, and machine oil lubricates drill bits. Whoo-wee. I like it when we get these nice thick metal shavings. Thick metal shavings means I have less to clean up. Let's go ahead and do a post dribble of oil. Help pull that heat off that drill bit. And we'll take you. Take you. Love. There we go. And then to clean out, I got some stuff in my hole. Well, the hole I drilled. Whoa. Was that a mouse? Sounded like there was a creature on my side of the shop that disturbed some stuff. I hope that was not a mouse. I really hope that was not a mouse. Okay. So, we now have to reposition our wood block a little bit here. Primarily, what I have to do is bring it closer to me, while still keeping it on my... Still keeping it on the post of the drill press. So, I'm going to take my previously drilled hole, and then we're going to just basically just check, make sure that's my center. We are centered. So I can afford to get my clamp out, and we can clamp it. Now once we clamp, check again. Oh. I think I'm a hair bit off, but it's like tappy tap off. Ooh, that looks better. Ah, that's better. That's better, that's better, that's better. Cool. So we can just bring this guy on down to here. We got a little bit more outfeed support. Technically speaking, I should probably have a little bit better, a little bit more material. Yeah, that's the word, material. Also, I should probably also have, technically speaking, another clamp on this side of the world if I want to be extra, but we're drilling one hole, so not too worried about that. So let's dribble a little bit of oil here. Okay. Hold my workpiece, because speaking of Looney Tune moments, if I don't hold it when I take that clamp off, I'm gonna have a Looney Tunes moment. Damn it, I'm too anime for Looney Tunes. Actually, hole punch will work great for cleaning up the... Just get a little bit of those like chips in the inside of the angle iron. So, actually, I'm kind of curious. How much play does my all thread give me in this situation? Ooh. Oh man, look at all that play. That's quite a bit of play. That will work. That will certainly work. That will work really well. Really well. Okay, let's get that off. That's also the nice thing about having these, being able to stick these big blocks of wood on the drill presses. They help hold some of the shavings, so it does help me with cleanup a little bit. But yeah. Now I gotta debate what I want to do here. So, options to moving forward is I still do have to drill a top plate because let me get my gloves on because I don't want to. I did some angle grinder cutting Friday on one end, which I did smartly put the end that I did that cutting on the floor side. But yeah, there's my terrible angle grinder form right there on full display. Now I did work both the front and back sides with a file a little bit just to like knock down any like really bad burrs, so that way there wouldn't be anything too terrible on this. As you can see this is the cut that I actually got from the metal shop. That is really nice, but it's really nice because they had a really big tool that costs a lot of money that I don't have. So originally, because I originally ordered a 1 foot by 2 foot piece of metal, and the guy doing their diamond plate cutting that day had a bit of a dyslexic moment, and they cut it 42 inches in this dimension rather than 24 inches, which, because of how they load up the material, I didn't find out until I got home. So I was like, okay. Well, because I actually did do, because the 2 foot angle iron pieces that I just drilled, those are the ones that I got as they were. So we've got a couple of other pieces of angle iron here. These actually don't get holes. So these are actually cut with my angle grinder. And then, as you can see, I also beveled it, ever so slightly beveled the edges. Now, granted, I was a little bit inaccurate on that, but yeah, these are actually going to be top pieces. Then those are actually going to be bottom pieces. So currently my debate is, do I want to start putting this together? Do I want to drill top plate? Or do I end stream? I don't know which one I want to do. Because if we actually go into assembling this, I am going to... Because actually, if I go into assembling this, we'll... You know what? I actually kind of want to assemble it. At least, get a... Because I feel like if I bring it together, I'm going to get a lot better... Well, actually... How well can I support my diamond plate on that? Because honestly, I'm not opposed to that. I'm starting to now not be as opposed to doing more diamond plate work. Because the good thing about the diamond plate is it's big, thick, and heavy. Plus, well, I have this. I can also drill my holes from this side. Kind of, sort of. Ooh. Because that's going to be... Because the interesting thing about this Because I'm going to need like a hole here. Because I'm going to need corner holes. And I don't have a lot of support for that. Okay. Well, that's because this gets 6 holes. 6 holes for all pieces of the all thread. Yeah. Because the center holes will be easy because I can have lots of support. Because even if I were to do a hole there, roughly, it's not too much work to support this. But yeah, I'm gonna actually drill that off stream. Because I'm gonna have to get extra with my setup. Okay. You know what? I think I'm gonna actually lean on trying to do a little bit of assembling for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the BRB screen on because my bladder's starting to scream at me, and I'm gonna take care of that. And we're gonna actually try and start putting this together. Okay, I'm back. So, we can now think about bringing this together. Now, there's a couple more to-dos, but I think we're fine to go ahead and start assembling this bad boy. So, these are going to be our main... And the water heater suddenly turns on, to my surprise. So I'm gonna go grab me a reference. And then I'm gonna play an ad. I'm gonna mute that. So I'm not actually working off build plans. Ooh, this is exciting. Because this goes like that. Okay. Coolio. Do I have... Ooh. You're close, you're not perfect. Do I have something that is perfectly... Do I have scrap that is perfectly the height of this? I'm gonna grab a small reference angle iron, and I'll be hitting up my scrap bin, because if I have something that's really good for this, that makes my life easier. You're probably too big. Holy smokes, you're too big. Ooh. Really close. Really, 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 really close. Kind of close. That's 2 pieces. That's 2 pieces of wood. So I've got 2 pieces of wood here. Mostly to help set up my little workpiece here. So I need to figure out where this gentleman has put his washers on this thing, because that's my big curio. Wait. He has a piece. To see those. Ooh, wait a second. He has an extra piece of angle iron I don't have. 4 pieces, 9 inches. Yeah, I've got that for... Wait. Oh. I followed the cut list. Yes. Yes. Oh, okay, so this is exciting. So, this is going to be basically the platform. One side over here is actually going to be like the actual like hearth for the thing. These are going to need to get positioned somewhere in there, and they should be the length of my brick. Yep, that they are indeed the length of my brick. Ah, okay, that's how he's got that. Okay, so we're gonna have a piece like this. Come to here. Roughly like that, and that should be space for 1 more brick. So... And then so some of my bricks got chip corners. Chip corners can be facing the outside. Oh boy. Gee willikers, these. Oh wow, this actually will be a really tight compression fit. Okay. So I know this is going to be a real tight compression fit, but so the big thing I realized just now is I am re-looking through this. Holes at if you want a hearth, there's 1 additional piece of angle iron I would like to have that's going to run from here to here. I followed my build instructions a little bit too closely, so I don't have that. So let's see. Ooh, okay. Actually, there's a better way to do this. There's a better way. So, I'm going to want a little bit of length here. Just, kinda... Damn, I can't believe I shorted myself a piece of angle iron. I have scrap angle iron, but my scrap is too small for what I want to do. Ooh, wow, doing this blind is painful. Oh, come on. You got a little bit of that lip to you. Nah. So, it's not going on. Because I have this wee little bit of a... Yeah, there you go. I got that lip on that other side. So, we can fix that with the file. And one of the funny things you can do is when your piece is light, you can either hold the file stationary and work the piece across the file, or you can work the file across the workpiece, whatever you want to do. So, let's see. Because there's another way for me to get this nut on, but it's more of a pain in the butt. You really don't want to go down the pain in the butt route. But I do want to make sure this gets on. Darn. Well... Okay, well... It is no longer going to do things what I wanted to do. So what that means is, rather than bringing a nut in, I have to let this travel down by a foot. Which, by the way, is a fairly large distance to travel in all threads, so... Wait. You're being resistive. I'm feeling resistance. I don't like that. You're the fact... What? Ooh. Now that upsets me. Because, see how nicely shiny that is? Dibited? This is the factory end of my old thread. And my nuts not wanting to get started. That makes me angry. That makes me very angry. It's how dare you not... It's how dare you not work? Well, how dare you not accept the nut? Because you're the factory in. Oh, wait. This might be what happens. The factory in may have gotten dinged. So I have no good way of cleaning that. But I am going to try... Oh, wait. Did not see that on... Check on piece and make sure it isn't the nut. Ah! There is a little bit... Actually, we can try one different nut. Okay. It's a nut. It's a nut problem. But test. Okay. Now, this is an issue of I have to make this nut travel the full length of my all thread versus just a little bit. Ooh, some resistance right there. Please stop. No resistance. I don't want resistance. Because I at least want to get... There we go. Ooh, Because I at least want to get the general shape of the forge done. Oh, wait. That's 2 messages. Wait a second. My dock is not. If you have any all thread to spare, you can chamfer the end, cut a slit lengthwise to make a makeshift single use tap. Ah! I think I've seen that done. I think I've seen that use done. Not sure if I'm particularly qualified to do that, though. Actually, wait a second. Why am I doing? No, buddy. You're working with a different piece of all thread. You got a better. You can do this better. And the better is we just bring the bottom up, and we should be able to actually make it even easier for ourselves here. Maybe. That's something that makes me happy. That's what makes me happy. There we go. Slowly starting to look like a thing. But yeah, that's what I'm going to try and do today, is at least get this to the point where it looks like it's a thing. Because I've literally just now realized that my parts list was missing a part to fully finish it. Because there's one more piece of angle iron I need. And unless I get that piece of angle, and I do not have that piece of angle iron available. Ah, come on. Play nice with Sugi. Please and thank you. There you go. There we go. There's going to be that one. Now, next one. And there we go. So I can take this, bring it back to my little pre-assembly area. I'm gonna try to give you guys a little bit better view here. Bring this guy around and in. So that's gonna be our first fire brick. Now this is the fun part. This is the magic fun part. Where we get to find out whether or not I got just enough play. I think I haven't just enough play. Ooh. That's It's a tight fit. Don't use hammer straight on brick. You'll get sad. Especially metal. Therefore, when you have the desire to hammer masonry and not break it, wood distributes the blow. You can also go with the rubber route. So we just give this some taps. Wait, I'm just gonna check. Oh, well, holy smokes. That's starting to look like something. That's starting to look like something. And that is... Wow, that plate's actually... No, this plate's actually a little bit loose, but, I mean... That's a really good fit. That's a really good fit. Okay. Let's grab some more bricks. Bricks! Brick, 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 brick. Okay. So we're gonna do one brick there. Now, we're gonna have something special happen to this brick later, but that's gonna be a later. That is not gonna be a now. Ooh. This is gonna be exciting with my brick, because my brick actually is not as thick as the brick this guy used. Because I think my brick is 1.25 inches. I want more room. It's just a perennial problem with having a shop. Is you always want more room, especially room to set stuff. So I really want to get this to the point where we have something of an object. Go. There. Magic box open. Go. Now we gotta open up the magic bubble wrap. There we go. Woo! Now, I did buy extra brick, so I need to think creatively now. That is an idea, and I do not like that idea. Because okay, so I got an idea. Kind of. Well, because the thing is, so the configuration for this is he's got actually, well, hey, what do you know? No, I don't like the idea of having this brick supported like this for now, but for temporary purposes, I can just slide a brick in there at an angle, That just kind of lets me size up my firebox. So, honestly, so what this does for me is my firebox seems smaller than what Essential Craftsman had in his video, which is weird. Oh, that's why, because he's using thicker brick. So this and this come up further. However, though, that's still I think that's 4.5-inch firebox. Yeah, that's 4.5 inches of firebox. Like, that's plenty of room for sticking metal in. So, let's see. Actually, wait a second. Wait a tick. I'm a dumb. That's what I am. I'm stupid. He didn't have it like this. He had it like this. Okay. I can live with that. Granted, if I stick with this, I have an overflowing overabundance of fire brick. Okay. And then, wait a second. Oh. Oh, I screwed up. These pieces of angle iron, that's not where they're supposed to be. That is not where they're supposed to be. They are supposed to be. These pieces are supposed to be up here because I chose to build mine with the quote-unquote hearth option, which basically I get a little bit more of a platform here. So, granted, this is actually one of the upsides of this design is you can break it down easily and assemble it. So, what I actually need, did I just straight lose my wood? I lost those wood pieces. That's fine. That's another reason why I overbought fire brick is I wanted to have a little bit of a extra material. Now this is what we're trying to accomplish. And the advantage of this, that will be seen somewhat shortly, is I want room for a little bit of basically a bit of a step here, and then also a bit of a step on the back. By having a step on the back, I can put fire bricks on the back. I can kind of enclose it a little bit more. Let's see, because we'll do a platform on either side. So I want this to be roughly I want roughly 4.5 inches. So that's going to be the width of a brick. So I've got a little bit more than that, but it's really dang close. Because I'm still going to have to actually... That's on the money. Okay. Now we're building. And then that one, we just have to roughly align it with the last one. Grab ourselves a brick. Okay. So, Not wanting to go down that well over there. So we'll get a piece of wood. And that wood distributes the force, keeps the brick from cracking. Otherwise, we get cracked bricks. Undesirable outcome. Now, we can build the walls of the forge. Now, I am going to probably entertain some ideas, but in order to entertain some of my ideas I have, I will need to cut some of the brick. Because I'm thinking what could be fun is to cut one of these bricks in half and then put them on the bottom. Now, I'll kind of make my forge a little bit taller, or I could just live with my forge being the height it is. It really does not matter. Cool. Now, these guys come into play. Here. And there. And then we just kind of squeeze a line. Oh my gosh, that thing is adorable. And then, so these guys, I am going to want nuts on these guys. So let's grab a handful of nuts. Because that's one of the things these strips of metal are going to do for us, is they're actually going to pull this in, and that's going to help hold everything together. So I just want that to be a bit below there. So that's there. Go to the other side. Get a nut on that. Granted, my nuts on the bottom are loose still. Everything is very loose because I'm putting it together. I'm not committing to it. But we're going to at least get a forge shape object out of today's stream. That's today's goal. Granted, I do like the fact that this can be broken down, though. Never know when having the need to have something broken down is going to be handy. Okay, so that's going to be one. Wow. That is tight. Which is technically good. It's tight means it stays together. It's just weird because I don't have a... Granted, that all thread is like... Oh, there we go. I was about to say my all thread did not... was at a really janky angle. Granted, I also have like an overflowing abundance of... all thread up here. Because originally I was expecting to end up with probably like an inch to 3/4 of a nub. We've got more than that, but we got more than that, fellers. But, and then you just tighten that up, and then that's already really solid. So, I'll just angle that up, angle that in. And then, what? today's streams went on long enough. I forgot to add nuts to the bottom of this bar. But this is all getting disassembled and put back together eventually. Because a few more things that need to happen are, one, I need to, which we're just going to get this reasonably finger tight. Finger tight for me, which is pretty dang tight by other people's standards. But that's a forge. That. Hey, grab you. Ah! You're heavy and made of metal. There we go. So that's going to be our forge. And then we have our little lip. And that's going to be our hearth. So that'll give us a little bit of a spot there. And then we can probably just lay a brick up like this to help keep that heat in. And then just to complete the aesthetics of the thing. Because if I got far enough ahead in my preparations, I was actually wanting to fire this up and actually make some ting-ting noises. But that gives me a little spot to rest my work pieces. And I might even cut one of these bricks down. Just so that way I can have it. Or, wait, or is that better? I almost think that's better. Yeah. That looks pretty good. But also like the whole, we can just have it like this. That keeps it fairly enclosed. And we also have this on the back side. So we can have our materials in either side of this thing. So further things that need to happen. I need to cut a hole in one of these bad bricky boys for this guy. So that's going to help. So this is actually the thing that's going to make flames happen. This is our flame making device, which is actually going to rest on this side of the world. It's good. So there's supposed to be a piece of angle iron. And I followed Essential Craftsman's cuts to the letter, and unfortunately it looks like I'm paying for it because, well, I'm good on all this. I have all this. I literally need one more piece of angle iron, which, who knows, maybe if I'm lucky. Don't think I'll be able to pick up what I'm wanting at the places where I typically go to get things. But hey, I have here. It's not perfect. It's not 100% done. But I have the bones for a good forge. I really want to consider, another thing I really want to consider doing is taking one of these bricks. They're 4.5 inches wide, and I want to split it in two. The reason why I want to do that is I want to put a piece here, and let's move the brick, a piece here and there to bring these walls up a little bit more. Because, I don't know, this it looks like a really nice tight burn box, but honestly, what I know the correct answer. The correct answer is get this running. Work with the forge like this. Because the way my angle iron is supporting all my brick cracks. So you got this, which is essentially just a friction fitting. There's an angle iron behind that supporting it. Same as down here. This is solid. And very heavy. Which is good. Which is really good, because that means I can put big, heavy pieces of metal and it not like tip or flip or do anything like that. It is bare minimal forge, but I need to get a piece of angle iron to support those, just to help keep these support pieces good. And I think, not sure what I want to do in terms of having support for the underside, because one of the fun things I was considering as I was first planning this project out was like, okay, forge. This is portable. I can swing it around. I can store it, like, and that's also some of the advantages of a big reason why I went with like this style of forge is it allows me. It's compact. It doesn't take a lot of room, and most importantly, it doesn't take up floor space, which is at a wretched premium in my shop. And I actually see a piece of wood that might be really good for storing it when it's not in use. Having said all that, ooh, I heard a bell and the bird's scared. There's a cat outside. Okay, cool. Well, turning away from distracting cat, this is something that fits my needs really well. So other than the fact that I missed a piece of angle iron, Essential Craftsman's definitely has got a real nice forge. This is like, and this is also very, I feel like very beginner friendly. I am, as you've seen multiple times today, I am a wretched amateur at metalworking. But one of the big plans for 2026 is to work on that. And this is the first step. Because a couple of years ago, I inherited my family's ancestral anvil that was used on the old Yamagawa farm way back when. It was originally purchased by my great-great-grandfather, and I've been looking at it for a long period of time, and I've been like, man, this thing's like a little bit too important to my family to just be like sitting around. I kind of want to like do more with it, so we are working on the first steps on that. So sorry that things got a little bit weird in that last like hour, but I was really unsure how far I wanted to take today's stream. So, but I'm very happy. I am exceedingly happy with where I'm at. It's very much not perfect, but there ain't a lot more time that needs to go into this to get it to where I need it to go. So, and I also can actually probably, while I'm out and about today, actually grab something that's actually more appropriate for drilling masonry. Because I gotta put a 2-inch hole in one of these dang bricks. So, with all that, I'd like to say thank you very much to everyone who's tuned in today. I would like to wish all you people out there, may you have a great, hopefully you've gotten a good start to 2026, and hopefully we can continue to make this a great year. Gotta say, I love this drill press. Oh my gosh, I am so incredibly thankful to have this tool now, and it is definitely going to be a level up for me in the shop. So you're going to be seeing a lot more drill press Kun, and we're going to be spending a lot of time with this guy eventually. Probably later this month, I imagine. I'll have a schedule out later today, and with all that, I would like to say, wrap up today's stream by saying, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, night, evening, wherever it is, wherever you're at. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.